Hello, Kevin here, and where am I today? Well, I've come back to Treyford. And who's in the background? Well, we've got Cynthia and we've got my grandson Jack. They've come along to help me do a bit of investigation in here. And we are at the site of where St Peters of Treyford was. Do you want to go on in, Jack?
Okay.
And Cynthia, and I'll follow you in?
I'll do the gate.
Oh, you're going to do the gate, thank you. So in here we've got all these, a rather large mix of different types of headstones. This one is of metal, and it's John Challen, and 30 years parish clerk, it says there. And he fell asleep March the 17th, 1875, age 74. And then we've got these sort of more traditional stone ones, but there's something over here that looks rather interesting. Let's have a walk through here and see what this is here. And no, that's a doggy. That's a dog trying to find his master. Look. No, it's a dog. So we're in amongst all these yew trees, different sized graves here. Cynthia's gone over there, and Cynthia's gone looking for a particular grave. Can you remember the name of the person, Jack, that we're looking for?
Nope.
You can't, okay. And it's Paul Maze. We think that's how it's pronounced, or it's M-A-Z-E. But this is the site of the cemetery just in front of us, so it's of the church. So we've come in along through the gates, and we're walking along this wood chipped path, and we're just coming up here. More graves to my left, which are just over there. Was you going to help Cynthia look for that grave? Okay, good boy, thank you. Let's have a look around here while they're looking for the grave. And St Peters of Treyford, I believe was built in 1849, but only existed for about 100 years. And it was later demolished, I think, or later taken down, I should say, in 1951. It became unsafe. Oh, hello, Jack's waving to me. Found a grave already. We're going to have a look for that in a minute. Most of the stone was from a local quarry that built the church. And also the church pews were local, but they were sold off when the church was demolished. St Peter's was 116 feet long. So the bit I'm looking at the moment, this is where the church would have stood. And I'm standing on the south side of the church, and I'm now looking towards where the east end of the church would have been. It replaced 3 other churches in this area, which was St Andrew's of Diddling, St Paul's of Elsted, and St Mary's of Treyford, which is just a ruin now. St Peter's was described as a commodious church, but it had a spire which would have been at that end, the north end of the church, which was 120 feet high. When it came to the tower being taken down, so let me just walk back this way. This is where the tower would have stood. It was too big a task for the local tradesmen that had been brought in to take St Peter's down. So this is where the tower would have stood. And they called in the Royal Engineers, is what I believe. And they set their charges and made sure everything was clear, and then they set the charges off. But the tower didn't come completely down, and they had to reset them, reset more charges, and then bring it down again. I think I read somewhere that the spire was the first bit to come down. But anyway, let's have a wander down here to where Jack and Cynthia is. And we're looking for the grave of, as I said just now, Paullucienmaze or Mars or something. And he was born in 1887 and died in 1979. I've just put my foot straight down a hole. And he was an Anglo-French painter. He's often known as the last of the Post Impressionists and one of the greatest artists of his generation. Oh, here he is, over here. That's well found, you two. Oh, you didn't find it? Yeah. So here it is, in loving memory of beloved husband Paul Maze, or Mars, who died September 17th, 1979, aged 92. Gosh, that's a good age. His beloved Jessie died 12th of January 2000, aged 90 years. Well, when he died, a lot of these trees wouldn't have been as grown as they are now, because this is all hazel that's above his grave at the moment. But it's very overgrown in places. Hello.
Right behind you.
Yes.
Pauline Lucien Maze. The daughter, because it's Paul and Pauline, was she named?
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
Yes, that's really good. And she died in 1964, aged 44. Yes, could well have been the daughter, couldn't it?
Yeah.
During World War II, from what I understand, Maze served in the British Home Guard and then served as a staff officer to someone called Sir Arthur Travis Harris. He competed in the art competition of the Summer Olympics of 1948. So they had an art competition in 1948 in the Olympics, which sounds a bit strange, but that's what they say he did. But I don't think he won anything. So we're looking at going towards where we looked at those graves just now, with all these yew trees around us, and they've got a footpath, a little footpath cut down through here. Look. Into where more headstones are, all underneath these big yew trees. But I think this is described as an open graveyard, which means I think that they still carry out burials in here.
Far side are more
More recent, aren't they? Yeah, yeah. So, sorry, go on.
I presume it's still consecrated ground.
Yeah, I'm assuming so. Yeah, absolutely. But if we've come here today, and it's a very overcast day now. It was a nice sunny day earlier on. So yeah, it was lovely to come here or come back here and find St. Peter's, and actually investigate it a bit more, because we couldn't find it the first time round, could we?
No.
It wasn't until we found that lady up on
Lady helped us.
the lady up, just because she said her husband's buried in the graveyard, so must be one of the more modern ones, graves over here. In 1949, actually, Maze and his first wife divorced in 1950, and then he married Jessie Laurie, a Scottish woman who became the subject of many of his paintings, so it seems, and they settled in Treyford in West Sussex, as we've said. And he depicted his domestic life in many of his works. So these are the more modern graves. One rather sad one there, the cross is broken. But yeah, you can see these are very similar, some of these. These are the Mitchell family, just there, two headstones the same. So Jack's been having a wander around as well.
It's interesting. One grave has been looked after.
Yes.
I wonder if it counts as a military grave. He's an RAF test pilot.
Oh yes, that's true.
They do it.
Yeah, could well be. Let's have a look at this one. David Hay Goodsir, RAF retired AFC test pilot. Died in 2004. Yeah, I think you could be right there, Cynthia. classed as a war grave. Yeah. So I think for now we've finished our little investigation of St Peter's churchyard in Treyford. Did you enjoy that, Jack?
Yeah.
Wandering round? Good boy. Right, so we're going to head off now. As I said, very quick look round here. It's not a huge amount to see. So this will be Kevin, Jack and Cynthia saying bye-bye, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hello. If you've enjoyed Kevin's video today, why not subscribe to his Kevin's Rambles YouTube channel, give us a like and follow us in the future, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.